Hello and welcome to the channel. Jamie here from JP Cars, and today I'm going to be showing you my new Christmas present, a car that I bought for myself because I've been wanting one for a few years and I thought, why not, when I saw one come up. So this is the Saab 9.3 Sport Wagon, the Swedes' answer to the Alfa Romeo 159 Sport Wagon, the VW Passat estate, and also cousin to the Volvo V50. And as I said, I've been wanting one for a little while. I think it's a great looking car for the age and for the brand, because Saab is very particular, isn't it? You can tell it's Saab from a mile off, and this just kind of caught my eye, and I thought to myself, I've wanted one since about 10 years ago when I was back in college, and I thought to myself I would quite like something a bit different, but at the time I couldn't afford it. And I picked this one up in fairly good condition, considering it's done 200,000 miles. The only issue is on the back here with the rear arch, where someone's obviously come across and scratched it up, but apart from that, it's in actually really good nick. For the 9.3 Sport Wagon, one of the things that really sets it off against all the competitors are these clear rear lights, and at one point everyone really wanted to have those on their cars. They would modify them to look this way. Of course, being the estate car, it is quite usable compared to the saloon, but it did lag behind when it came to the competitors, because the competitors had, if you take the VW Passat estate for example, had 514-ish litres of boot space, whereas the Saab only has 414 or something thereabouts. But it does have these little quirks here, like this here to me looks like a bit of an aeroplane, and it kind of goes back to Saab's heritage because they're into aviation, etc. You've got your jack under here, and then you've got this little pull up here, spare wheel, got these little side pockets, perfect for storing whatever, beer, I guess. The one that I've picked up is the Vector Sport, so it's fairly well spec'd. It's got a sunroof, it's got these half leather seats, which they're not quite black. I think they're kind of a dark grey. If I just get in, I can show you. They're kind of like a dark grey with a light cloth in between them. And do you know what? They're actually quite nice, and they're actually really comfortable. So the quirks don't finish just outside, because I'm now sitting in the car and I'm going to show you a few little things that I really like about the Saab. First, I really like the interior. It's kind of a bit like, oh my god, where do I look, when you first get in and you've never sat in it. But now that I'm kind of used to it, I'm a bit like, yeah, I can kind of understand it a bit more. It's very kind of, it's angled towards the driver a bit more. You've got this little Saab badge looking straight at you, and it does make you feel a little bit like a king. I don't know why, it's a really weird feeling. Down here, you put your key in. That's right below the gear stick here. Turn it to on, ST, and it will start up and click back to on. So what you can do is now is you can look at all this and go, one, turn that fan down. That all works as well, 200,000 miles, pretty crazy. All the radio works, etc. I've got a little coolant light on here, but supposedly it's just a sensor. Just press clear and it's gone. All of this green, I don't know why, it just gives me a really good feeling. It's a weird sensation, I don't know why, but the green just looks really, it looks really, really old, but yet this is a 2005 car. But I don't know why, it just looks great. Anyway, so you've got this thing called night panel that Saab have in their cars, and what you can do is you're driving along at night and you're getting a bit dazzled by all these lights here, and you can switch them all off. Anything that's not really needed, they take off. Obviously, you still got your speedo on, but one thing that I don't really understand is this. Why would you switch the petrol gauge off? Surely I need to know how much is in my tank as I'm driving along at night. So that's a bit strange, isn't it? Another thing I really like is simple things like, so this, storage, but also a cup holder. Brilliant. The handbrake. Pull it up, put it down, it becomes part of the centre console area. It's just a brilliant piece of design. Coming up to here as well, please excuse the Christmas paper. As you can imagine, I'm about 3 days away from Christmas because I bought this as a Christmas present to myself. So, press that, and look at that. That is a cup holder, and as you can see, if I put it out slowly, it works opposite ways and comes out. And that still works after 200,000 miles. And if you were a kid and you're playing around your dad's car, and you press that, you'd probably shit yourself. Then of course, got the sunroof, which I think in a car this cheap is absolutely unbelievable, really. So you can close it like that to let less light in, or you can push it that way, and it still works. If I press these buttons, look. Oh, I pressed the wrong one. That one. There you go, rolls all the way back, rolls all the way forward. If you press the back of it up, it will lift it and tilt it too. And that still works after all these years. Of course, this is a 5-seater, but as you can see, the rear seat person is neglected of a headrest. You won't want anyone sitting in the middle seat, because you can press this, out comes your cup holders, which is brilliant. And after all these years, still nice and smooth. What I've found from just having the Saab for like a few days, so I've literally had about 2 days, is that actually the quality of the parts and bits and bobs and the way that it's designed is actually really, really, really good. But then they've kind of let themselves down with some of the cheaper materials, like the doors are a bit scratchy, and you know, some of the bits, it's kind of like just crappy plastic. And considering this car was like £25,700 back in the day, the Vector Sport, it's quite scratchy, but then the rest of it makes up for it. So it's kind of a, overall I think it's a win. £995, 200,000 miles, and yeah, it's doing really, really well. And I think I'll hit 2,300 miles in no time at all. One thing that is quite unique about the Saab as well is this. It says 1.8T, but this is actually a 2-litre engine. No, they haven't misbadged it or anything like that. The 1.8T was marketed to be kind of a competitor against the 1.8 VAG group cars of the time. So it's a 1.8T, but what it means is that it's got a 2-litre engine with a restricted 150 horsepower 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine. If you get the Saab with the 2.0 on the back, it's still the same engine. It's just been either remapped or just left to be 175 brake horsepower. And then if you get 2.0 and then a big T, that means it is the 210 brake horsepower version. So it's quite a confusing thing for people when you kind of say to them, yes, the Saab's got a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine, then they walk around to the back and they see that. As you can see, the alloys are in really good nick. I don't think there's any curbing at all on any of them apart from that other side that I showed you where the scratch was on the back. The paintwork's in really, really good nick, and to be honest, I think that it was quite a buy for the money. You can't really ask for better. 12 months MOT for £995. It's a nice usable car. It's actually quite nippy, keeps up with traffic, no problem at all. So what are my plans with the Saab? Well, I think I'm going to take it on a road trip. I really enjoyed taking the Bora, which you can watch the video up in this corner if I put it up now, and you can go and watch the Bora going from Land's End to John O Groats and back, the £300 Bora. Well, this one, I'm thinking about taking it on a road trip, maybe to Wales. I'm thinking Wales, and take it for a trip, and maybe even camp in the back of it, because it is an estate car, so it's a lot more usable than Bora. Take the 200,000 mile, £995 Saab to Wales, because why not? So Christmas is in like 3 days, so I think that I'll take this Christmas present up to Wales next week. Well, I think that's time to sign off because it's just started raining and I'm getting absolutely soaked. So I think I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. Please do hit the subscribe button. I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.